Give me vision to see things like you do. God, I need you. You're where my help comes from. Give me wisdom. You know just what to do. I will love you, Lord, my strength. I will love you, Lord, my shield. And I will love you, Lord, my rock. Forever all my days, I will love you. stop working. You never stop, you never stop working. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop working. You never stop working. Praise the one who set me free. Hallelujah. Death has lost its grip on me. You have broken every chain. There's salvation in your name. Jesus Christ, my living praise the one who set me free. Death has lost its grip on me. You have broken every chain. There's salvation in your name. Jesus Christ, my living hope. Jesus Christ, my living
That's right. Amen, everyone. Jesus Christ is our living hope. It is in him that we move, we live, and we have our very existence. And so we are so excited that you have joined us here on today. Hello, everyone. If you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram, just good afternoon. Welcome to Birmingham Bible Church, where we are guided by the Spirit, living out the word and pointing people to the way. And we thank you for joining us here. It is our Winning Wednesday segment. We like to set this time aside to be able to inspire you, to educate you, to inform you about topics that is for your life and for your living. And so do us a favor, please make sure you share this broadcast in the comment section, especially on Facebook. Make sure you tag someone. Make sure you share this link because we all need to hear this information that is going down in just a few minutes. It is just so important to be healthy. A lot of us have careers, we have families, some of us are running businesses, and some of us, we just got things to do. We got parts of the world we need to see, vacations we need to take, so many things that we have on our bucket list. But a lot of times it can be difficult to do those things if we are sick, if our bodies are filled with diseases. And, lately we've had a few challenges to make that possible. There's COVID, there's monkeypox, there's just all sorts of things that tries to stop us from living that healthy and that full life that God intends for us. And so we have with us on today, Dr. Kre Johnson. She is a board certified physician here in the state of Alabama. Of course, she is a wife, she's a mother. And I like Dr. Kre because she just keeps it real. Anytime I've looked at her broadcast in times past, and she is so funny, so just down to earth. And I love it because we don't need anybody sugarcoating anything. We want somebody to tell us the truth. We have enough fake stuff going on in this world. And so I'm glad that Dr. Kre used her platform just to help us be better. And so please welcome our guest on today, Dr. Kre Johnson. Hey, Dr. Kre.
Hey, Lady Pam, how you doing today? Thank you guys for having me. Love coming to talk with you guys and spread some knowledge.
I am glad. Thank you for being available on today. I know you're busy. You're a doctor, so I know you're busy. So thank you for consenting and agreeing to do this with us. And so tell us how we can be healthy during these times, Dr. Kre.
Well, there's so much, like you said, so much going on. We thought we were riding the COVID wave just fine, and then you're thrown another jab, this thing called monkeypox. So
Mhm.
I think my advice, first and foremost, is to use our common sense. God gave us lots of common sense. And sometimes it doesn't matter what the CDC is saying, it doesn't matter what anybody is saying. If you see that in your community, the numbers are rising, even if they're saying don't wear your mask, have a mask. Use it does not matter anymore if you're vaccinated. I hear people say, well, I'm vaccinated, I've had all my shots. This COVID is a very, very, very smart virus. It is a very smart bug. On the outside of it, there's something called a spike protein. So got this spike protein. That's what we made all of our vaccines to match, to sit on that spike protein to say, hey, don't come and touch this. Don't sit here. Don't do this. Well, the bug is ever changing. Its primary goal is to live. So if I'm gonna live, I have to adapt. That's us. If it's cold, we adapt, we put on a jacket. If it's hot, we adapt, we take off a jacket. This bug is like, oh, y'all think y'all smart, let me change up a little bit. So now I can ease past the spike protein, the binder that's on there. That's the vaccine. So now people that are vaccinated are getting COVID as well. They may not be getting sick and enough to go into the hospital or getting sick enough to die. However, you're getting sick, which means you're exposing lots of people to COVID if you're still out here not wearing your mask and you're just out and about and the world is wide open, nowadays. So I think that we need to use our common sense, know that this is a very smart bug. It wants to live by any means necessary. So now it's changing. That's why you hear this BA.5, B4.5. These are all these different variants of the same original COVID virus. So this one is very, very contagious. It is, you should know maybe 2 to 3 days after being exposed. Just because you have a negative on today, but you still feel sick tomorrow, the next day, doesn't mean you're still negative. I've had so many people come in on a Tuesday, they've been negative, Lady Pam. Thursday, they're positive.
Mm.
So, but you went and got your grandkids and you babysat and you did all these things because if we sick, we're not quarantining because, oh, my test was negative. Now we have tests that we can readily get. Oh, it was negative, so I'm fine. So you were negative in that moment. That does not mean you're negative tomorrow. That does not mean you're negative next day. So first things first, we're using our common sense. Two of you sick, stay at home. Test after a couple of days of being at home. Don't move about and do your regular routine because you could be regular getting other people sick. Maybe they're little kids, they've not gotten vaccinated yet. Maybe they're older adults, their immune systems aren't as strong. Who are we exposing this to? Who are we hurting? That kind of thing. I'll give you time to ask the question. I know I said a whole lot.
No, no, you're fine. So, and that leads me to a question. So, if I have been around somebody with COVID, should I, just, be quarantined for so many days? I know the CDC is ever changing. They got their own set of rules, but just like you said, common sense. Should I
Mhm.
stay away from other people for a while?
The rule technically, yes, you should. However, if you're like, okay, my job is not giving us, let's be real, the job is not giving us any more COVID days. I have no more sick days. I've been out with COVID. My kid been out with COVID. You need to do in that time while you wait to see you tested on the first day. I'm negative. Mask, double mask. We're not talking about cloth masks. We're not talking about bandanas. Them days are old and gone. You
Right.
can find a good mask, now, and the prices have gone down because nobody's hardly buying them. I get mine off Amazon in bulk and just keep them by the front door, keep them in the purse, keep them in the car.
Mhm.
Because a lot of businesses are starting to go back to say, hey, let's encourage wearing a mask. And we were giving patients masks in the beginning. Now people are like, they not have no go. You got one in your car. Go get your mask out of your car. We're not buying everybody masks because you should still be thinking, be COVID conscious. I like to say. So yeah. So I would say, but if you can't quarantine heavily, at least mask, double mask, be mindful who you're eating lunch with. Say, hey, I'm eating lunch in my office. I may go to my car. No, my brother, I was with my brother this weekend. I feel fine. My test has been negative, but I need to just kind of be away. Wear your mask. It's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah. Yeah. Good stuff. That's good. That's good. You shared a broadcast a while back about monkeypox, and so I've been looking, there's so many ways I've heard that you can get it, cannot get it. Can you talk about just kind of what it is and how people are actually getting it? I saw one study that said, it's a sexual transmitted disease. And I saw something else that said, you can get it from, touching other people. Like, so I'm thinking about, what about football? So can you just kind of talk about that, talk about how people are getting it, that sort of stuff?
Okay, so monkeypox is a cousin of smallpox. And guys, if you were born before mid 1970s and you see that big old a vaccine mark or imprint on your mom, your grandmama's arm, they do have the smallpox of a vaccine. So there may be some connection that are those people going to be somewhat protected from monkeypox since they're cousins. So let me just say that first. So it looks like a younger person's disease. Now, granted, all this is new information. In 2 weeks, we may be coming out saying something different because we're in a live science experiment as we speak, right? So monkeypox can be transmitted by droplets. So when I say droplets, we're standing close enough that if I say something forceful and spit gets on you, then you can get it if I got it. So that's what we mean droplet. You're talking so close to each other that we can get our bodily fluids on each other. It also can stay on surfaces long. And I've yet to see truly how you can get the monkeypox off of the surfaces. I've not truly seen if it's Clorox. I've seen somewhere where they said it was UV light, but it's not sun UV light. So that is we're still waiting on that, on how to get it off surfaces. And I've seen where it can stay on surfaces for days. So that means if you are going to a hotel, they didn't change the sheets. And last people had monkeypox, you go get in the bed, kind of thing. So it can stay on linen, it can stay on sheets, it can stay on towels. If you're close enough to somebody and you're kissing them, you're intimate with them, that's another way. However, I want to dispel the myth that it's a men, that only for men who have sex with men. And that's not the case. Anybody can get it. We've seen little bitty kids getting it. I think out in Seattle, they've had a few cases of small kids getting it. And it mainly is somebody in their household had it. They got their droplets and the child, got the symptoms. So let's talk what those symptoms are. So just be mindful. You standing too close to somebody. But what if we had our mask on, Lady Pam? I wouldn't be spitting on you when I talk. You wouldn't be spitting on me.
That's right.
We had our mask on. We spitting in our mask, and not that you're being vulgar in your spitting. This is just regular droplet precautions in the air of us having communication. Or if you sneeze, even if you sneeze like this, it's going under your, it's going somewhere. It's going into the air. So that's how you can get it. So contact. I don't know about football. They've not said not to do football. They've not said not to do sports. But the honest truth is we're not getting a whole lot of information. I think we're up to like maybe in the 20s of people that we know for sure that have it in Alabama. I think those numbers are higher because remember in the old days of COVID, it took us a very long time to get results back. This is where we are. We're having to call the health department and say, hey, we need you to check this out, run this test. So we have to wait for them to come. They do the test, they do the send off, and we wait. So I think the numbers will climb because we're up to 7,000, at least about 7,000 people in the country that have it.
Wow. So so what are the symptoms? I know it's and I've heard you say before that it's like chicken pox on crack. So how big are they? What's the incubation period? So how long will I have it? And then how long do I have to stay home or my family members stay home if I get it?
Okay, cool. So first and foremost, before you see the fluid rash, the people will have like flu-like symptoms. Well, doesn't that sound like COVID?
Yes.
You will have, fever, chills, somebody aches. I'll just feel kind of blah. And then a couple of days after that, 4 to 7 days after that, they start seeing the bumps. So the bumps, size-wise, we don't have a diameter, but they're filled with pus. So they look like, chickenpox has a little fluid. They don't have fluid in the inside of them. They can be on your face, on your mouth, on your genitals, on your hands, on your feet. So usually when we get rashes, just think just regular rashes. your hands and feet are usually spared. So this, you got them on your hands, you got them on your feet. And the bad thing is it takes up to 21 to 28 days to clear. You're contagious with this until the last bump scabs over and falls off. So you're talking about a month of being down. It itches, it hurts. It may not itch, it may not hurt, but a lot of people say it itches and it hurts, it drains, it looks bad. You're not gonna want to scratch your skin up because you remember when you had chickenpox, the ones you scratched, you still had those scars, right?
Yeah.
So you still had those scars. So this isn't one of those things, people that we like, oh yeah, when we had chickenpox, my grandma made all us get it at the same time. One person had it, she called it church. Anybody need their kids to get chickenpox? Everybody came, we got chickenpox to get it over with. No, we want to quarantine as much as we can. However, there is a vaccine that's out, but it's not in mass production. It's not like you can just walk into CVS and say, hey, I've been exposed, I think, to monkeypox. I need to get a shot. You need to call your local health department, which is usually, like ours is Jefferson County Health Department, whatever your county is. If you're in Perry County Health Department. Call your health department and say, hey, I've been exposed to monkeypox in the last few weeks. I need to get the vaccine. And those right now are the people who are able to get the vaccine.
Okay, good. So what about, because I just saw recently, there's some other stuff that's floating around that hasn't probably made it to Alabama yet. I saw an article that said that New York has some cases of polio, which I'm like, that was like years ago.
Yes.
And I know stuff that happens in New York and California kind of eventually starts filtering out to other states. So do we have any worries for that? I know you don't have a crystal ball or anything, but
I think that those states, Lady Pam, think about New York and California, they're so progressive. Lots of people are like, I'm not vaccinating my kids. We have movements of that. So every so often we had like an outbreak of mumps, in recent years. And it's usually in those people who are like, I don't want to vaccinate, didn't get vaccinated. So therefore if you get exposed to it, we've had the vaccine. So our body's like, oh, whatever, there's mumps, go on about your business. If somebody comes from an endemic country and you're around them, you're not vaccinated, but we hang out with all the same kind of people. Our friends don't believe in vaccinating either. Now we got a little outbreak. You see what I'm saying?
right.
So I think the big thing is making sure we get our vaccines. I mean, usually I personally, as a physician, I don't take patients who won't vaccinate because I'm afraid that if they sit in the waiting room and grandmama got, pneumonia, we just killed the baby, because that's something you shouldn't die from because you have all your vaccines or whatever. So a lot of doctors around won't actually take the patients if they are like, I don't believe in vaccinating. I want to push it off. So I try to send them to the population at will. And that's just my personal choice because I don't want to be the one that's like, oh yeah, we got it because we sat in her office and we, that kind of thing. So I think that it's more or less the population. A lot of them are free spirited, they're doing those kind of things. So making sure that for us to prevent it, make sure that your vaccines are up to date. Polio, measles, mumps, rubella are all childhood vaccines that you probably would have already gotten. Is more of a newer generation thing where people are like, I don't think my kid needs that. Well, you may.
Yeah, you're right. Because I've noticed, and this was years ago, there was this lady that I knew, and I don't know how she navigated, but her child was up to school age and she didn't believe in vaccinations and what have you. So I don't know where she is now, or that child is probably in their 30s now, but it was just that long ago. But you're right. It's like a new area of people who don't want their children to get, the simple immunizations, what we're talking about.
Things that that's tried and true, that millions and millions of people, have gotten and done just fine with. And my thing is, in this day and age, if they're offering vaccines, we have so much red tape. We're done with Tuskegee. That's why we had a red tape today. If it's gotten to mainstream and say, hey, we recommend taking this, it's gone through lots of testing, lots of let's hold up and see, let's change this, let's tweak this. it's not a thing of we like, well, let's just go give it real fast and see how many people die. We don't, that's not how, science is set up.
Yeah, yeah. So school has started back, and so
Yes.
I believe children are just little carriers for things. They just, they so
All things.
excited to see one another. They're hugging on each other, kissing on each other, whatever they're doing. And so they can just kind of bring stuff home. What are some tips that you can tell our parents to teach our children as they go to school? Some things we can do as parents for them to make sure they're not getting stuff and bringing it home.
And bringing it home? That's a great question. I think one thing's for sure is teaching your kids, sending them with hand sanitizer. That just because somebody else is not washing their hands, that does not mean that that's your thing. So you go ahead, you rinse your hands, you sanitize as much as you feel necessary. If Johnny digging in his nose and you got to go play with Johnny, offer Johnny some hand sanitizer as well. Like, here, I got some, and it's in a cute little unicorn, just teaching your kid what good hygiene is.
Yeah.
And then once they get home, I'm like, go ahead on and get out of your clothes. Get out of those clothes, put them in the washer or put them in the hamper, wherever your dirty place is, and go get in the tub while I warm up food. So go do that, or just get out of those clothes, sit down, wash your hands, sit down so we can eat or whatever. But get out of those clothes. Oftentimes that's a good mindset shift too, from changing from the school mindset to, hey, I'm being home, I'm going to be a little bit more relaxed. So making sure that we sanitize often during the day, sending them with the supplies that they need. And once you get home, get out of those clothes, wash your hands, get in the tub as quick as you can to wash the day off.
Okay, good. And then of course, I know we're talking about things we can do externally, wearing the mask, making sure you're vaccinated, all these good things. And how can we, even build our immune system so that we're warding off, help making sure we're healthy on the inside, so that we can help ward off some of these viruses and stuff that's floating around.
Yes, I think we need to be taking our vitamin D and our vitamin C. Those are two good vitamins. And a lot of people come in and say, hey, can you check my vitamin D level? That's D as in dog. A lot of times insurance don't want to pay for it because 90% of us, we just carry a low vitamin D level. Is it because we're not getting enough sun? Is it because we're not where we near the equator where our ancestors came from? Who knows? Like, take a low dose of vitamin D, take a low dose of vitamin C, and making sure that we are paying attention to our bodies. Oftentimes you may be sick for 3 days and until someone else say, girl, you coughing. And you're like, oh, maybe I have been coughing for the last 3 days. So know what is not, be very in tune with your body so that you'll be able to say, I know real quick, if I'm off, I know I'm off. Okay, I need to just take the day because I need to rest a little bit more. But I think that the vitamin C and vitamin D are for sure two vitamins that we need to have on board.
Yeah, I think I'm glad you said that about vitamin D, because a lot of times, especially as women, we had children, some of us breastfed or whatever. And so our vitamin D is low and we don't know it until we get that test that says, hey, I actually went to a physician and she told me mine was low. So I'm on like a super duper vitamin D, right?
50,000.
Yeah, that's the one. Once a week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's good stuff. So thank you, Dr. Kre. This was great information. I am going to just do a couple of announcements for our viewers for the upcoming week. And then when I get through, if you can just kind of give us some great takeaways, things we need to consider so that we can continue to stay healthy here. So thank you everyone for joining us. You have heard from Dr. Kre Johnson from Brownstone. I'm sorry, Dr. Kre, Brownstone. Tell me the full name. Brownstone
Healthcare and Aesthetics.
That's right, Brownstone Healthcare and Aesthetics. And please go see her. Make an appointment. Of course, I'm gonna let her talk about that also towards the end. She gave us some great tips on being healthy. Listen, for all of you who follow us, don't forget we have small groups this Saturday. We are learning about life's healing choices, learning how to heal ourselves emotionally. Also, don't forget we are uploading a video in our private Facebook marriage group Facebook page. attention. So make sure you pay attention as you get the notification for that. If you want to be a part of that and get those updates and watch the videos, please send us an email at marriage@bhambc.org. That's marriage@bhambc.org. Also, we are having in-person service this Sunday at C.W. Hayes School. So, of course, we hope to see you all then. And on the same Sunday, we are going to have a baby shower for one of our officers. Officer Tanika is having another baby girl. So we want to celebrate her in a mighty way. So make sure you show up with lots of gifts, lots of presents, and let's love on her and her entire family. Actually, and of course, she's Sergeant. So she's Sergeant Tanika Smith. So make sure y'all join us for that. Of course, we have studying scriptures every Tuesday. Pastor Mason does a wonderful job. We are walking through the book of James. Please join us every Tuesday at 11 o'clock a.m. And we are also on oneplace.com. If you want to hear Pastor Mason on the go, you can also go to oneplace.com and listen to all the messages that have been archived. And you can also listen to the 6 different podcasts that are available for your leisure. Of course, our website is bhambc.org. And you can actually look at the podcast when you scroll to the very bottom. So, Dr. Johnson, thank you so much for being with us here on today. I was thinking about one other question, and I know with everything that's going on, how can we also not be, I don't want to say have paranoia, high anxiety, because I think all of us kind of dealt with that when it first came out. We didn't know much about it. Then our children, some of them may have just kind of high anxiety about it. So could you also, as you get ready to close, talk to us about that? How can we, be safe, but not just be over the top when it comes to being safe here in this COVID monkeypox disease infested society we're in?
I think that it's important for us to get in a routine. I think that if you look at it more as a routine and not as a, ooh, did I? And I usually wear my mask, especially if I'm going to the store. I went into the dollar store and I forgot my mask and I was like, oh my Lord. This was like 2 months ago.
Right.
Oh, I'm not gonna make it. And I was like, girl, it's 2 people in the store. Get in there, your car way out there and just run on out, So I have conditioned myself even to like I have masks everywhere, but I try and make it a part of my normal routine, having your mask, having a hand sanitizer in the car and in your bag, so that it's not something that you're overly thinking of. It's just a part of your routine. And the same precautions that we be taking for with COVID, we're going to be taking with monkeypox. So do the precautions, do your precautions, mask up, sanitize up, wash your hands with hot soap and water, hot soapy water when you can, and just do your routine. If you look at it as a routine, it's not a chore. Like we brush our teeth every day. That's not a chore. That's just part of your routine. You got to brush your teeth every day. I know I need my stuff, my safety stuff, and just go from there. So yeah, I think that'll be my takeaway is, remember God said, be anxious for nothing. And there is nothing new under the sun. We got monkeypox and we got COVID and they had leprosy. And I don't know if I want to be dealing with leprosy. You know what I'm saying? And they were like ostracizing people. You were a leper, you couldn't even function. So we are in a society that yes, we have things that we're learning about and it's new. And I talked to a doctor recently and she trained in Cuba. And she said, well, in Cuba, we had pandemics all the time. You think we're surprised because we're in this, but in other countries, this is what they're dealing with. They deal with pandemics. Monkeypox has been in Africa since the 50s. This isn't new. And when you have one pandemic, it's often common to see other illnesses creep in there. This is just a part of science. So we need to be trusted professionals. Talk to your doctor, talk to your professionals. Don't try and Google it and read the article because you don't understand. I'm just going to tell you, you don't. You think you do. We barely understand. And we're having lots of meetings saying, did I read this right? Am I saying this right? So make sure that you get your wisdom from wise counsel and know that, and trust the wise counsel and go from there. I hope you have a great school year. Wash your hands, mask up, and I'll see y'all soon as long as they have me back.
That's right. Of course, you will always be back, Dr. Kre. Thank you so much. Thank you for giving us your time on today. And we love you. We appreciate you for just getting the knowledge out to everyone. So have an awesome rest of your week. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.